Oh, hey everyone. How you going? It's Rich McLean, the scapegoat. I just had a conversation with a very powerful and wealthy and privileged man, Bruce McMaster of 11 Collins Street in Brighton. If ever you want to rob the joint, Pro Hearts Date the Races just on the inside, and you've got an actual, I think it was a Jura or a very famous printmaker from the 1500s. It's that kind of house with museum pieces in it, you know. A very privileged man, and as a scapegoat, I thought I'd give him another chance and ask him for some help. I apologise to him for my rudeness, and I apologise for being cranky and calling him a fucking cunt. And I asked for his help, and he said to me, he goes, "I'll give you my advice." And I'm like, well, I didn't ask for your unsolicited advice. I actually asked for some help because, you know, I'm living in my car as a homeless person with no access to the law, no equality before it. I have no rights, I have no privacy, I have no safety. My health and welfare and safety and life are imminently at risk. And there's a government conspiracy which has excommunicated me and refuses to acknowledge a very simple fact that I was together with Steve Isonides for 5 years, engaged to be married, and he was an ASIO agent. And further than that I've been excommunicated from the Australian government, and that this persecution of mine's broad and systemic and political, and it oppresses and victimises me. And it's a brutal oppression that's literally already killed me and forced my suicide in Feb 21, only to live and be revived from death, to have it whitewashed and covered up. Now, Bruce is a man who is extremely privileged. He doesn't know what it's like, probably, to be sexually abused as a child, and he doesn't know what it's like to suffer the slurs of being gay and the homophobia that's in society, and he doesn't understand what it's like to be violently attacked and then that covered up inside a hospital. And he's always had the privilege of legal help, and he's always had the privilege of money, and he's always had the privilege of food, and he's always had a roof over his head. And he's a very conceited and arrogant person because he is absolutely able to intervene in my situation. But I said to him, a conspiracy relies on the victim's inner circle to be compromised. And absolutely it has. Like, you're within your remit to report a human rights abuse. Anyone can. Actually, any human can do that. But the Australian Human Rights Commission won't investigate it for me. And it can be any single person in the world who wants to report my documented human rights abuse. And I asked him to. And he said, "My advice for you, you'll never win," he said. And he said, "You should just move on with your life." And I'm like, well, that's easy to say from a person who hasn't experienced the detriment and heartache and hurt and violence and family violence, coercive financial control, and literally a malicious government conspiracy that's aiming to kill me. Like, he hasn't experienced any of that. From what I see of his life, he's never been shy of $1, or he's never not had food. He's always had the support of family, and the family revere him because he's got money. And the thing is that when you haven't got money in this society, you're downtrodden. Like, think about it. Like, if there was a tribe of monkeys and one monkey stole all the bananas and they kept the bananas, and the other monkeys starved, and he kept the bananas anyway, and anthropologists would study that monkey and say, why is he keeping all the bananas? But when humans do it, someone's rich or someone's famous, they put them on the cover of magazines and we idolise them, because prosperity and capitalism absolutely go together. Think of Donald Trump down at the local pub if he wasn't protected by power and privilege and money. Like, someone would surely punch him in the fucking head, wouldn't they? But anyway, Bruce says to me, I need to give up and move on with my life. But there is no moving forward. Like, I've been systemically, maliciously and politically destroyed over 20 years, most intensely in the last 5 years. They've taken my business, they've taken my website, they've taken my health, they've covered up a tragedy that happened to me. There's a conspiracy, and they've destroyed everything I own in my home. They've destroyed my freedom. And I was protesting this today in Dandenong, and lo and behold, the corrupt police call up and they say, "Did you send an email to so-and-so? We've got to do a welfare check, we might have to come and see you." And just like that, corrupt police, who still won't acknowledge that that relationship with Icenides ever existed, or any other corrupt conduct of public officials, and their own corrupt conduct, they focus on my mental illness and my apparent suicidality. And I said to the cop, I protest this shit because I want to live and I want a better life, but you're trying to kill me. And now they're after me. So I've had to literally been run out of town, an infamous vagrant with a clean criminal record, and I've been run out of town yet again by Victoria Police, who vilify me for apparent suicidality and persecute me as a person of interest of the Australian government. They're the front line of community service. They're supposed to protect the public, but they demonise me and they protect the other public officials who are also in roles of $500,000 in political